Hi, my name is Dr. Abe Du Plessis. I'm a consultant with Progressive Dairy Solutions. Today I have a helpful tip for you that will ensure that you will be much more happy with your fresh cows in the future. There are a number of factors that will affect dry matter intake during the transition time period. Today I'm going to talk about one of those factors, and that is pen movement. We all know the importance of dry matter intake with transition cows, and with transition cows I'm specifically talking about cows 3 weeks before calving to 3 weeks post calving. Anything that will cause dry matter intake to decline or drop during that transition time period will probably end up in failure for many of our fresh cows. When an animal or a group of animals gets moved from one pen to another, a new social order or hierarchy has to be established. The way that cows do this is either through aggressive or avoidance behavior. For 2 to 3 days after a group of animals has been moved into a new pen, there will be a lot of social turmoil in that pen as they try and establish a new social hierarchy. One of the consequences of this happening is animals will eat less. And as I've said before, dry matter intake or a drop in dry matter intake during the transition time period will lead to failure of fresh cows, and it should be avoided as much as possible. Why is a decline in dry matter intake pre-calving so detrimental to animals? The reason is really very simple. When the animal doesn't eat, she still has to maintain her nutrient needs, and what she has to do is she has to mobilize body fat to do that. The liver has to convert this body fat into energy, and the liver can only do so much. When too much body fat comes into the liver, the body fat starts packing into the liver, and we develop fatty liver and ketosis, which you well know about. An animal that has fatty liver and ketosis becomes a metabolic crisis, and eventually this will lead to failure as a fresh cow. Most dairies have a maternity pen, and animals get moved to the maternity pen in various different ways. Oftentimes animals get moved to the maternity pen every single day. While if we know that moving animals is detrimental to their dry matter intake because of the social hierarchy that has to be re-established, then a pen move to the maternity pen daily is not a good thing. Therefore, a strategy that can be employed to cut this down is to only move cows to the maternity pen within 12 hours of calving, where even if we did see a drop in dry matter intake, that it would have very little effect on that animal if we do it that way. Here is a schematic of what happens when we move cows to a new pen. As you can see, for a period of 2 to 3 days after the pen move, the social turmoil increases tremendously. Then after 2 to 3 days, the pen quiets down. And then if we move cows into that pen every 2 to 3 days, essentially what happens is the pen is in a constant state of turmoil as depicted in this graph. Minimize pen moves as much as possible during the transition time period, and you will put your fresh cows at much lower risk of failure if you do that. If you're a good nutritionist, the cows will like your feed so much they'll eat it out of your hand.